how I increased my income at my 9 to 5 from $42,000 a year to over $130,000 in about 5 years. Back in 2016, I was making about $42,000 a year and I had multiple side hustles to make it work. I graduated college with an English degree and a Spanish degree like in 2012 when the economy was still recovering, and so $42,000 was more than I ever thought I would make. As I worked my way through corporate America, I realized $42,000 living in Chicago with over $700 a month in student loans really wasn't an abundant life. And so I became obsessed with increasing my income as much as possible. Now, the first thing I did is I focused on side hustles, and I would not recommend doing that because personally, side hustles are only really good if you need money like quickly right now, or if you have interest in eventually building a business. But for most people, side hustles are really only there if you need like a quick injection of cash into your life. To me, they are not sustainable forms of increasing our income because who wants to have multiple jobs? So in my first year of making $42,000, I did a side hustle as a social media manager. I Uber drove, I was house sitting, I did some translation work. And finally, I was like, this is not sustainable, so let me focus on increasing my income at my 9 to 5. Here's what I did. Number one, I made it clear I wanted to grow with the company that I was at immediately. Like we're talking about in the interview phase. And because of that, making my interests very clear that I wanted to grow, that I didn't want to stay an admin assistant forever, I was able to essentially interview the people that I was going to be working with as well to see, are they growth minded? Are they interested in hiring somebody who is not interested in staying an admin assistant? Because that will tell you a lot about a company. If they're like, oh, interesting. We're really looking for somebody who's trying to, be within this role for 5 years or something, then right away, this probably isn't the right position for me. The company and my boss, who I was hiring with at the time, made it very, very clear that they were looking for somebody who wanted to grow within the company and that they always look to promote within. So I knew, green light, let's do this. Now, the conversation of your growth at a company should never stop at any point, really. The interview is just the beginning of this conversation, but in my weekly one-to-ones, it was almost a conversation of, am I doing the right things to get to the next level, to get to the next position, to get to the next pay grade? That way, I always knew where I stood within my role. And when the end of year conversations came along and we're talking about promotions and pay raises and things like that, well, this isn't the first time I brought up that I want a promotion, or this isn't the first time that I brought up that I'm looking for more money. That makes the conversation a lot easier. But the second thing that makes the conversation a lot easier is collecting data throughout the year on why you are deserving of a promotion, of why you are ready for the next level. My friend Maggie Palmer is the founder of Pep Talk Her. She's actually got a wonderful app that's used for tracking these things, for keeping track of those accomplishments throughout the year. I did not know of this app, Pep Talk Her, when I was in this position. I don't even know if it existed at the time. So I just had a Google Doc of every accomplishment that I ever had. So it would be like anytime I would do work that was outside of my scope, anytime that I would bring in X amount of income for the company, anytime that I would transform a program, things like that. I kept track of all of it. And that's what you have to do, because literally no one is paying attention to your career more than you are paying attention to your career. Not your boss. It's not your boss's responsibility. It's your responsibility to keep track of that stuff. And it's also your responsibility to advocate for yourself. Now, this video is getting really long, so we'll go to part 2 in the next video.